Good evening. Wow, what a race that was. We are in Rome. It's the fourth round of the ABB Formula E Championship. And yeah, incredible race today, which saw the team just over there, Jaguar, Mitch Evans. He took his second win here in Rome. So it was absolutely fantastic race for me. Came all the way from 9th on the grid. Welcome to Picko's Pit Walk. So what we usually do, we walk down the pit lane, we chat about the teams and how they performed. Now, unlike yesterday, everyone's still here, so this is going to be a bit more awkward for me, but we'll still run with it. So we start with Neo. Obviously, it wasn't an ideal day. Admittedly, Oliver Turvey was 9th in his group in qualifying, which put him 18th on the grid, but the two Neo drivers, they didn't really go that far. I think they finished 17th and 18th outright. Yeah, they got held up at the start with that Oliver Rowland accident, and so that didn't really help them in their fight against the next team we're going to talk about, Dragon Penske. Again, not a great race. Antonio Giovinazzi unfortunately did finish dead last in his home race. I did speak to him. Yeah, for him, he doesn't sound too optimistic. Basically, yeah, the thing that they got most out from today is laps. Sergio Santacamera did beat one of the non-Neo and Dragon cars. He beat Sebastian Buemi. He finished 15th in the end. So yeah, it was a solid race from him. To be able to beat Buemi. However, I think Buemi did also. Did he have a penalty for no, I don't think he didn't. However, it is the next team that we're going to talk about is Nissan. Yeah, I'm not sure about the team or any. I haven't spoken to anyone from the team, but based on this year's performance, not ideal. I think maybe they should just like continue going about this year, but they need to focus hard on Gen 3, because right now they are. I don't see that they might be able to fight Mahindra, but I think that they are solidly in that battle for mid-teens and on the odd point here and there, like they got in Mexico City. So yeah, it's obviously not ideal for the Nissan team. However, they will be there or thereabout. So Mahindra only had one man basically in this race. Oliver Rowland. He was the centerpiece of the lap 1 incident that happened over at turn 7. He was hit by the two Venturis, basically like a pincer movement. And yeah, that was that really for him. He came back in, changed his front wing, was able to catch up to the safety car. He did, to be fair to him, he did make his way through the field very, very well. I think he went up to something like along the lines of 15th place before he eventually did retire from the race, along with actually Maxi Gunter, who we didn't mention earlier on. Yeah, so Maxi Gunter had a big old slide coming into turn 7. I think he damaged something then, and then from there on out the car wasn't right, and he just went straight into the barrier, I think at turn 10. So yeah, down this side of the field, down this side of the grid of the pit lane, not great results. So Simsy got 12th. It's his best result of the season so far. Beats his 14th that he got in Diriyah Race 1. Admittedly, he did retire from Diriyah Race 2 and in Mexico, so wasn't hard to beat. But yeah, now we move on to Porsche, the dominant force in Mexico. We're there or thereabout. They got both cars into the dual format, which is good. But they were both knocked out in quarterfinals and lined up 7th and 8th on the grid. Now, while I've been walking up here, I was hoping that because there's an interview near the end of the pit lane, that I didn't want to be in the shot of. I feel like I am going to be in the shot of it, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around them. Can I just go around? Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I've got the heads up. So yeah, it's like taking attack mode. Apart from I'm not going to gain any speed out of this. And now, because I've taken a long way down, it's a long way down to Venturi. So we'll speed walk whilst talking about Venturi. So yeah, both cars on the 6th row of the grid. Mortara 11th, Degrassi 12th. And actually Mortara had quite a quiet race, but it was one that he was able to progress through the field, so it was actually a fantastic job. We did speak to Edo Mortara, so that interview is up on the channel, so go check that out. I'm going to be out of breath by the time I hit to Venturi. Oh, the joys of unedited thing. At least I don't need it. Well, if you watched yesterday, it got to about this point and my voice started going. I've got a bottle of water today, so fingers crossed we won't have to cross that bit. But here we go. Rocket Venturi, Degrassi. He had an all right race. I think he finished eventually outside the points. However, he was running there or thereabout for most of the race. But yeah, I think for both Venturi drivers, both of them didn't have the best qualifying, and that hampered them. Throughout the entire race. But Edo Mortara does still lead the championship. I'm not sure if they're still leading the constructors, but it's still a fantastic effort from them, because like a few years ago they were 7th or 8th. They were fighting the Dragons and the Neos and the Mahindras, and so to see them up here fighting for World Championship was absolutely fantastic. So kudos to them, and I think that they can take a lot from today into tomorrow. So that's good for them. Let's move on to a team that it looked like they were going to be right up the top with Jake Dennis, but not the best end to the race. I did speak to Jake Dennis. Turns out that the strategy that they were on, basically they were on the wrong strategy, so they pushed really hard. So it looked like an amazing strategy for about 4 or 5 laps, and then after that it just all went downhill and Jake started dropping places, and he ended up P13. He did have an accident with Antonio Felix da Costa as well, which got a 5-second penalty. He would have said he would have battled the 5-second penalty harder if he'd finished P4, but he finished P13, and he was he held his hand up and said, yeah, no, that's kind of my fault. So kudos to him. Ollie Askew, it did not have a great qualifying. I think he was 19th or something like that on the grid, and in terms of the race, I think he did end up finishing just behind his teammate, but it was literally just a recovery drive from that point onwards. Right, so we move on to the green machines. The Envision almost did a Nichols, yeah. The Envision team, not any other name. Oh, I was so close. It was so close there. Robin Freins, fantastic for him. Second place of the season, puts him 3rd in the championship right now. Yeah, fantastic job from the Envision version team to get Robin up there. Nick, he didn't have the best qualifying, and only ended up in 14th place, I think, on the grid. He recovered to get 9th place in the fastest lap, so that's fairly good for him. But yeah, Robin, who's literally just out of shot, I'm not going to speak very loudly now. Yeah, no, fantastic job for him, and yeah, we've got an interview with him up on the channel as well, so check that out. So yeah, good race from the Envision team. So we'll move on to a team that would, honestly, before qualifying, or even in the duels, I would have put money on these guys to potentially even knock out the front row. They were looking mighty, mighty rapid, Antonio Felix da Costa and John-Eric Vergne. So that's why I think where they finished is a little bit of a disappointment. Antonio Felix da Costa, I think, nabbed a 6th place finish, and John-Eric Vergne was 4th. It's still good points for them, but they showed really promising pace, so I think that they could be there or thereabout tomorrow. So they are definitely ones to look out for. And Antonio Felix da Costa, he fell down the order a little bit midway through the race, but he was able to nab, I think, Mortara on the last lap to get that 6th. And yeah, but I think that there is work to do. They weren't that optimistic coming into this weekend, so yeah, it's a decent result for them. I think they can build on that, and potentially they could be podium sitters tomorrow, and we might see them celebrating instead of this team, Jaguar, finally. And you know what, I am delighted about this, because if you watch the FEZ show, I did say Jaguar would win one race this weekend, and after qualifying, Jack Maynard and Ed Hunter's picks of Stoffel Van Dorn and Robin Freins were on the front row, and I was scratching my head because these guys look so quick, and I did actually I had a chat to both drivers after the race. The qualifying pace is there, so as you might have seen in qualifying today, Sam Bird, he was held up by Seb Buemi on his lap. Mitch Evans, he did a 1-run lap in Quali A, and so he just went for the 1 set of tyres all the way through. Everyone else went for 2, and he slipped out of the positions and had to start 9th. That said, a fantastic drive through the field. I wasn't so sure at the start, because he went for his first attack mode, and yeah, he was struggling to get past Jake Dennis, who wasn't in attack mode at the time. But that second attack mode, he flew his way through the field. Admittedly, Van Dorn fell back a bit, and that pushed Freins into him as well. But once Evans was in front, he was gone. Notable performance, Sam Bird. He had to start 13th on the grid. He said on the grid, top 5 would be a fantastic result, and that is what he did. He finished 5th place, so that is good. But he knows that there is more performance in the car. And he was actually quite disappointed. He thought that he could finish 3rd, but yeah, it wasn't to be. However, a win and a 5th is still fantastic results for Jaguar, considering that they were really on the back foot coming into this weekend, and they needed a good result, and that's what happened. So we come to the end of the pit lane. Mercedes, they are the kings of qualifying. They look incredibly quick on in quality pace, and so yeah, I think that they are definitely up there. But it seems to be that the race pace is quite slow. I was this close to interviewing Nick de Vries today. However, he was running a little bit late on, so we can accept that. We'll try and nab him tomorrow. I couldn't get Stoffel in time, unfortunately. But yeah, the Mercedes, they're quick, but the race pace, I think, needs a little bit of work. We will try and chat to them tomorrow after the second race weekend here in Rome. The race time starts at the exact same time. Over in the UK, it is on Channel 4 instead of on the YouTube channel, but head over to the Formula E website if you're not in the UK to find where you can watch it. But yeah, if it's anything like today's race, oh my lord, we're in for a corker tomorrow. So from Rome, thank you very much for watching. I am delighted that I still have my voice intact, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.